Hello friends, welcome to my channel Vedic Astrology Guru. Here we discuss various concepts about Vedic astrology. Well, today in this video I will be discussing about the impact of eclipse that is happening on 11th of January 2020. Now this eclipse is taking place around 1:45 AM at around 12:45 hours according to Indian Standard Time. Now these eclipses are usually very important. Why? Because they make a lot of impact over everybody's life. Sometimes the impact is negligible, but sometimes the impact is so lasting that decisions made after the eclipse are life impacting. They can be life changing events. They can be life changing decisions as well. So these eclipses are really very important. Even our ancestors were well aware about the impact of these eclipses. Now the last eclipse that happened on 26th of December 2019, it took place in the sign of Sagittarius, and for that I have also made a video which tells about the impact of that last eclipse over the 12 zodiacs. And those impacts are not just instantaneous. Sometimes they are, but sometimes the impact is so high that it lasts for months or maybe years. So the last eclipse took place in the sign of Sagittarius, and the present eclipse, which is happening on the 11th of January this year itself, is taking place in Gemini. Now the axis remains the same, which makes this eclipse more important. And even the previous eclipse before the last one that happened in the month of August in 2019 was again in Gemini. So back to back, Gemini is going through eclipses. It had an eclipse in the August in 2019, and now again there is. After that, the eclipse was in Sagittarius, which was again a Gemini-Sagittarius axis, which makes it more important, and even further elevating the things which have been previously happening will be aggravated now. So this aggravation is about to happen when this eclipse on the 11th is going to take place in the Gemini sign. So I would be giving a forecast of all the 12 zodiacs, apart from telling you about some world events that may take place during this eclipse, or after, just instantly after, just a couple of weeks down the line, there can be major impacts. So talking about impacts, sometimes these impacts last for a few days, sometimes for a few weeks, and sometimes up till the next eclipse. So eclipses are very important. We always need to consider eclipses when we are considering forecasts for future predictions about the 12 zodiac signs. This becomes really very important. And yes, if you like my video and you can see that my predictions for you are really working, kindly leave a positive comment, because that really gives me the enthusiasm to keep further moving with this scenario and keep making videos for you, making forecasts for you. It really helps me a lot. So straight away now I will get down to this. Firstly, I will delve into the events that may happen all across the globe. Something or more or less similar events will take place in few of the countries. Now what is about to happen when this eclipse is going to take place on 11th of January? Just few days down the line, you may see that previous planning of sabotaging something or conspiracies being made, they may get refueled, and those conspiracies or the conspiracies of sabotaging something, that may get successful. So it's really important. So destruction of property by lightning and fire is also possible. Declaration of war is also possible. Now why is all this happening? Okay, let me bring you down to this. Why all this is happening? Now this is a Kala Purusha chart, Now this eclipse is happening in the Gemini sign and previously which took in the sign of Sagittarius. So you can see the axis is right here. So what is happening here is this eclipse is taking in the nakshatra, the constellation called Punarvasu. Now Punarvasu is a very special constellation. What happens is the events that have been happening previously or are happening or just happened previously and are not as of happening now, they may restart again. They may take place again, because Punarvasu is about regeneration of things, recreation of things, and things may happen all again once for all. So that becomes really very important. So declaration of war is also possible, not according to the Punarvasu but according to the other nakshatra in which most of these planets are transiting. So declaration of war is also possible by some of the country, some or the other country. Breakup between national allies. Now there can be breakups between some really important national allies. We can see further down in January. Destruction of shrines or symbolic people. Now there may be really important people around in the world, or there may be some sort of shrines in regards to some specific community or culture. There is possibility that it may get destroyed. Destruction of property by wind or cyclone or heavy rains may take place. So this is also very important. Community of people may revolt in the name of religion. Now there may be a very specific community which may retaliate or which may revolt in some sort or other, but the basis will be given religion, which is just for the cause of it. Then what next could happen is acts of violence against women. Now this is really very serious. Women who are doing their jobs and are at the edge or are in a situation where there is a possible confrontation going to take place. If they feel that something like this is going to happen, they should really be very careful, because there is possibility of violence against women during this eclipse or after the eclipse. So actions of powerful people or powerful nations may not be appreciated by the society. Now there may be some decisions that powerful people might take or powerful nations may take, and that will not be really appreciated across the globe. What else is going to take place is reprisal of suppressed agitations. If there were previous agitations which were going on, they may see reprisal. They may be restarted again. So these are the general world effects that are going to take place. Now I will get on to what will happen for all the rest of the 12 zodiacs. But when I will say something is about to happen for the Aries zodiac, then I mean according to Vedic astrology, your ascendant shall be Aries or your moon sign shall be Aries. So this is very specific to Vedic astrology that is going to take place. So you need to check for your moon as per Vedic astrology and your ascendant, what is your ascendant as per Vedic astrology. So if Aries is the zodiac sign, that is your ascendant or moon sign, then unexpected travels, unpleasantness during travels, may feel or get stuck during existing journey. So be very cautious about this, because there can be troubles during your journey. You may get stuck at your journey. Be aware, as you may get cheated during the journey or at office, or misuse or manipulation of information may be happening which is provided by you. So be very careful. You may meet someone during the journey who may cheat you, or some information which you have been using in your workplace or at or around your home, that information can be manipulated and used against you. So you have to watch out for that. And what else is on the cards is displacement of documents or error in documents like emails or hard documents may take place. So be very careful with your emails and documents. Keep your documents safely locked, keep your emails password protected, keep your computers password protected, which is very important during this period. So what else is for the Aries zodiac? New friendships may happen, but during those friendships you may get cheated as well. So this is also really very important. Troubles with seniors or boss at workplace may happen. Loss or health issue to someone elderly which you know personally. Cancellation of a journey also may happen, and cancellation of ceremony. If you have been planning a ceremony or think that a ceremony may take place in just a couple of weeks or a month, then that ceremony also may get cancelled. So moving down further to Taurus. Now what is on the cards for Taurus ascendant? Taurus ascendant and Taurus moon according to Vedic astrology, so make sure you check for that. This eclipse is taking place on this axis of 2nd house and the 8th house. So you may feel connected to your inner self as your intuition and psychic abilities may increase. So you may be having a feeling that yes, these things are about to happen, and trust me, those things, those intuitions will be really very correct. So rely on your guts rather than what is happening in front of your eyes, because there is a possibility you may get cheated if you rely on the circumstances. So rather rely on your guts during this period. You may also get hidden information in regards to your workplace or regarding to your home. But if that information is second hand, that is not discovered by you yourself, then make sure that information is correct, because there is also a possibility that the second hand information you may get, it is false. So you need to double check it. If you are not sure of it, don't buy it. What else? Financial losses are also possible, so do not make any bets or don't take any risks. Loss in regards to your fixed assets is also possible. So in regards to your properties, in regards to your material assets which you have, it could be something which you own. So there is a possibility that may get damaged, or there may be some sort of loss in regards to that. Health issues due to wrong eating of food or medicine. So be very sure if you are taking any medicines, if you are under any kind of medication, you are taking the right medicines at the right time when you need to take them. Do not go for an unhealthy binge, because that can make you ill. So make sure you are eating healthy during this period, because after this eclipse happens, there may be a possibility that you may do some unhealthy binge which may result in some sort of health issues. And up ahead is that toothache or tooth problem or mouth problem is also possible. So you may, there is something really serious which needs consideration. You may fall from height or stairs due to slipping. So don't chase a dog, don't run up, don't rush things if you are going somewhere. Just be cautious. Arguments with the relative at home front are possible. Disputes regarding property are also possible during this time. And yes, defamation could be at workplace or in public, so keep away from controversies. So that is something for Taurus which is really very important. Now we will follow up for Gemini. Alright. Now for Gemini ascendant or Gemini moon according to Vedic astrology, make sure your moon is in Gemini or your ascendant is Gemini according to Vedic astrology. So this eclipse is taking place in the ascendant and the 7th house. The axis is of the 1st house and the 7th house, which makes it really very impactful for Gemini. because this eclipse is happening in Gemini. So health issues may surface. If you have existing health issues, then they might increase, so do take caution. Stress at home and workplace may increase, so try to hold your horses. Things will run down smoothly after some time, so don't get agitated. Arguments and altercation with colleagues at work or business partner or spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend may take place. So just if there are existing issues going between your business partner or at workplace or with somebody you like, so avoid the arguments, because down the line you really don't want to get into those arguments, and down the line things will clear up gradually. So hold your horses for that as well. And people may stop communicating with you, so wait for some time. So there may be people who you want to get into communication and they deliberately may not get in touch with you. So that may be happening for a reason. So you need to sort out that reason. After you sort out that reason and work over it, then eventually you will be able to get through it. Altercations with your guide or your teacher or your guru or somebody who is elder to you, you feel that this is a person who guides me. There can be an altercation or difference of opinion with that person. It could also be your superior at your workplace. It could be your boss as well. So do mind it. Now especially females may feel harassed or teased in and after this eclipse, up till a couple of few weeks, I will say, because this is some really special eclipse that is taking place here. For people dealing with explosives or electricity, if your job is something which makes you deal with explosives or electricity, it is really very important for you. You need to take caution, as you may get hurt if you are careless. So that is something really very important for Gemini ascendant and Gemini moon. Now further we will take up Cancer ascendant and Cancer moon according to Vedic astrology. So if your moon is Cancer, in Cancer sign, or your ascendant is Cancer as per Vedic astrology, then this eclipse is taking place in the 12th house. The axis is the 12th and 6th house. Now what is possible for you is sudden travel plans may take place. Sudden or reprisal of health issue may bring visit to doctors. So make sure you double check, keep a double check over your health. You don't eat something which is not suitable to you. Make sure you check your food allergies. Make sure you are not eating something which is not right for your body. So make sure of that. One may see confinement or may get blocked out of information or communication in some sort. So there is a possibility you may get confined, you may have may have to face some forceful confinement. So don't get into something, don't get into a fight, don't get into some altercation with a person from higher authority. That would be the wisest advice here. You may get blocked out of the information or communication in some sort. You may find trouble sleeping or may also get nightmares during this eclipse and after the eclipse for a couple of days. So basically sleep disorders may take place. Injury to foot or leg is also possible. So make sure you are not doing something stupid, you are not jumping around, don't do any kind of silly sports which may get you into injury. Don't, if there is, if you're walking down an icy footpath, if you're walking down during rain, make sure you have the right kind of footwear so you don't slip down and get injured. So overall, and yes, at the last, overall for Cancer ascendant, there will be more of expenditures and unnecessary expenditures, and possibility of theft is also there. So make sure you don't keep your assets in a way, you don't manage them in a way where they are prone to theft. So that is something for Cancer. Now we will head on for Leo ascendant and Leo moon according to Vedic astrology. So next I will be discussing the eclipse interpretation for Leo ascendant and Leo moon according to Vedic astrology. So you need to check if your moon is in Leo sign or your ascendant is Leo. So for Leo, this eclipse is happening in the 11th and the 5th house, which is not a very bad axis. So enhanced psychic abilities may be there. You may feel that you have heightened feeling of intuitions. Intuition may get enhanced, and new planning for work, education or family enhancement. So basically there could be planning in regards to your education, there could be planning in regards to further enhancing your own family. There could be, you may be planning a child, you may be planning a marriage, or you may be planning something which enhances the members of your family. So that is also possible. Too much to plan ahead, so take it so. As there will be too much of planning, there will be a lot of things for you to be planned. So make sure you are taking everything one at a time, you are dealing with one thing at a time and not fudging up with something or the other. So you may have to make some hard decisions regarding your work, education or relationship. Sudden gain in speculation is also possible. You may bet and you may win, but don't overbet. But stay away from altercations with friends or a dear one, as you may lose someone near to your heart. So this is happening in the axis which represents your friends or which represents your lover. So make sure you are not getting involved into some sort of altercation with them, because this will push you to get into that altercation. If you get into the hang of it, then you may lose that person forever. And females during this period may get teased by the opposite gender or be abused. So please, I request you, all females, you take extreme caution. So all the females who have Leo ascendant or Leo moon, you need to take caution of this. What next? Now I will be discussing the Virgo ascendant and the Virgo moon according to Vedic astrology. If your moon is in Virgo ascendant, if your moon is in Virgo sign or Virgo ascendant, then what will happen for you? And this has to be according to Vedic astrology. So Virgo. So the eclipse is happening on the 4-10 axis here. So there will be a lot of emotional drama or chaos at your home front. There may be some existing issues which may resurface, or new issues may start at your home place or workplace. So you need to make sure that you don't get caught into the swing of that drama, swing of that altercation, or maybe some allegation. So change or shift in place of work or home is also possible. You may be changing or moving from one place to another in regards to your workplace, or you may be shifting your home or residence is also possible. So good thing about Virgo, for Virgo people, is if you have been trying to plan something, plan some action, especially if it is a conspiracy in regards to something, you may get success in that conspiracy. So the action which will be happening in regards to that conspiracy, it will fructify really well. And you may get entangled in false allegation by some women. So this is specifically for males. Males who are Virgo ascendant or Virgo moon, they may get some sort of allegation, they may get involved into some allegation by a woman, and it could be of sexual harassment, it could be about any other kind of allegation. So make sure you don't get into that kind of a controversy. So further up ahead, I would be discussing Libra. So for Libra ascendant and Libra moon, as per Vedic astrology, this eclipse that is happening on the 11th of January midnight, this may bring in results which may keep happening up till the end of next eclipse, or they may keep happening for a couple of days or a couple of weeks for you. So eclipses are really very important. So according to that eclipse, what is about in the cards for Libra? Things usually will happen on a positive note because this is taking place in the 3rd house and the 9th house. The axis is 3 and 9 here. So things usually on a positive note. They will be on a positive note. Planned traveling may take place. You may plan a travel, a journey. Execution of new plans may also take place. Communication with new people may also happen. You may feel pleasant and elevated during next few weeks after this eclipse. Miscommunication with boss or senior or guide. So somebody senior to you, somebody who is your boss or somebody who is your teacher, there can be some mixed communication, and due to that miscommunication there can be some trouble. So make sure you don't get into that. Sudden outburst of anger over old issue, but you shall absolutely avoid this. Because if there is a sudden outburst of your anger which could be due to some pending issue, previous issue, and if that is happening, that will really hamper your relationship with that person, and it may result into loss of relationship or some financial loss, but eventually it will bring in agony for you. So try to take control of your anger. Don't make an issue out of the pending issues. Or you can resolve it sometime later, few days down the line, but avoid it for now. What else? Failure of a love affair seems quite possible. So people who are already into a relationship, now I am not talking about people who are married, I am talking about people who are into a relationship and they are not married. So for them, this eclipse, for people having Libra moon or Libra ascendant, their love affair, their affair may end up, they may have to see a breakup. So either be prepared for if it is already in the process, it will happen for sure. And if it is not happening, if you are just having altercations, try and avoid them. Just delay your decisions for a few days and you will see that you have saved that relationship. So moving ahead, now the eclipse that is taking place on 11th of January 2020 for Scorpio ascendant or Scorpio moon, according to Vedic astrology, what events will take place? Now this eclipse is taking place on the 2 and 8th house axis. So strong position overall is going to be there for you, but threat to your finances or health, or there may be chaos at home front. So there is a possibility of loss of finances, there is a possibility of some disturbances in your family or at your home front, and definitely some sort of health issue to you. If you are having an existing health issue, make sure you are taking good care of yourself, you are having your medication at the proper time. What else? Altercations with neighbor is also possible. So totally avoid that. Your point of view may not get heard. That is the reason you should avoid getting into altercation with your neighbor, because your point of view will not be heard. Your voice may get suppressed, and that's for, and eventually your voice may get suppressed, you may not be heard of for your reasons, but eventually you will have an upper hand. But I would still suggest that you avoid these kind of situations. It's never wise to have an altercation with your neighbor. Don't participate in sports as fall from a height, which may prove fatal or may prove fatal. So avoid any kind of sports that involves jumping, that involves stepping down from some height. So make sure you don't get into this kind of a sport, or you don't do something like that by which you injure yourself. And especially there is danger from water or electrocution is possible. So be very safe. If you are somebody who has to work with electronics or electrical goods, then make sure you are taking precautions and make sure that you are taking all the safety that is necessary for it, because possibility of electrocution or danger from water is also possible for people having Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant. Now what is on the cards for Sagittarius? If you have Sagittarius moon or Sagittarius ascendant according to Vedic astrology, then this eclipse that is taking place on 11th of January 2020 is very, very important for you, because the previous eclipse that happened on 26th of December last year in 2019, that took place right in your ascendant or over your moon. And again, the eclipse that is happening is over this axis, the Sagittarius and Gemini axis. Although the eclipse is in Gemini sign, but this axis becomes really important. So what is on the cards for Sagittarius? There may be issues at workplace or dismissal from a job. So be very careful. Separation from business partner or spouse is also possible. So don't get into any kind of fight, because this is not going to be good for you. Altercations with spouse or to be spouse. So if you are looking forward to getting engaged or getting married to someone, you may get into altercation and that relationship may get broken apart. So be very careful. Or there is also trouble from a business partner as well. Financial and health loss is also possible. If promotion is pending, you may get that promotion may get halted, or it may get you may have to wait for a while for that promotion, but promotion will take place eventually. So don't get impatient if you are not getting that promotion which was overdue for you. It will happen in time. Delay of things at workplace may happen, but you may get new knowledge about new things. So few things which you were not aware of, you may get information about those things, or maybe you may start studying some new subject entirely. That is also possible. And planning of conspiracies or sabotage may get success. Now this is something on a positive note. If you have any kind of conspiracy you are working over, or if there is something you want to sabotage, it could be your enemies, it could be your opponent, then definitely there is a possibility you may have an upper hand in that regard. So next up ahead is Capricorn. So where is Capricorn? Alright. Okay, Capricorn. So if you have a Capricorn ascendant or a Capricorn moon, the eclipse that is going to take place on 11th of January, it may leave impacts which may end up for a few days, or maybe a few weeks, or maybe a few months. So be very cautious about this, because if you have a Capricorn moon or a Capricorn ascendant according to Vedic astrology, make sure you check for that. So this eclipse is taking place on the axis of the 6th and 12th house. So you may travel again to a distant place. You may have traveled to that place previously, you may have to travel again, or you may have to travel fresh for a place. Overall, there will be expenditures for you. Huge investments may take place. You may invest into something which is huge. It could be a business, it could be something you are buying, it could be a house, it could be a car, or it could be a long-term investment. So success in business deals may also take place. There will be financial gains, but for some, theft and destruction of property is also possible. So make sure you double check your logs, make sure about your luggage if you are traveling, make sure about your important necessities that you carry, you don't misplace them or somebody steals them. And hospitalization is also possible. If you feel that you are not feeling right about something regarding your health, immediately take medical advice for that, because it may aggravate and result into your hospitalization. So or there may be penalties due to some allegations. You may get allegated for something, or there may be some sort of penalties that you may have to suffer. So be very careful for that. Next up ahead, I will discuss about Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius moon according to Vedic astrology. What about it? I am discussing the eclipse that is taking place on the 11th of January 2020. This is very important because this Gemini axis, the eclipses, the previous two eclipses that have been taking place have been on the Gemini axis itself. So this is the third eclipse that is happening on this axis, and it makes it really very important. So what is on the cards for Aquarius? The axis is the 5th and 11th house, so financial gains will be there. New friendships are also possible. Promotions are also possible, but for some, allegations at workplace or by opposite gender. So do not get into a tiff with a woman, especially because you may get allegated for sexual harassment or something similar. So kindly avoid that. So abuse by a friend or a lover is also possible. So if you are having some pending issues with your friend or lover, there is also a possibility he may abuse that friendship or abuse you psychologically or physically. So be very careful about this. So breakup of a relationship, if you are having an affair with somebody, there is a possibility that there may be a breakup. So if you are already in the middle of a breakup, it will happen for surely. But if there are some issues which have recently started to surface, or they start to surface after this or around the eclipse, then try and take your time, avoid them, because your relationship can be saved. And what up ahead for Aquarius? Females shall take special care of themselves. They should avoid roaming around in lonely places or places which are not well lit up, because there is possibility of getting teased or physically abused. So be very careful. It's a request to all the women, be very careful. Don't do something overboard. Don't travel alone. Don't travel alone during wee hours. Don't avoid these kind of places where something like this can happen. And extreme partying or clubbing or get-togethers are also possible for you. So it is good. Partying, it's fine. You go for a clubbing, it's fine. You get-togethers, family get-togethers are good, but don't go overboard with that, because the eclipse is happening and it may result into some catastrophe. I don't want it may act as a catastrophe for you. So avoid that. Avoid the extremes. And lastly, for the last zodiac sign, Pisces. Now what is going to take place during this eclipse that is taking place on 11th of January 2020? This is very important because previous two eclipses before this eclipse have been on the same axis. Earlier it was in Sagittarius on 26 December 2019, and in the month of August it was again in the Gemini sign. So this is happening on the same axis again and again, and it makes it really important. So what is going to happen for the people having Pisces ascendant or Pisces moon according to Vedic astrology? Make sure you check your moon sign if it is Pisces or the ascendant is Pisces according to Vedic astrology. Then in that case, the eclipse that is taking place is happening in the 4 and 10 axis, the 4th house and the 10th house. You can see a lot of planets getting hemmed together here. So leisure travel or journey to distant place is possible. Issues at home front or workplace are also possible for you. So transfer in a job or diversions or new plannings or some new sort of diversions are also possible in your business, existing business. Unexpected dismissal of job for someone is also possible. So if there are issues happening at your workplace and you can see and feel that yes, there is a possibility of your dismissal, then it is better you start looking for another job or something which you can. You may have to plan new actions. Troubles with spouse or family also may take place. For some people, renovation or redecoration of your home will also take place. So overindulgence in physical pleasures may end up in abuse. So if you do not trust anybody in your relationship, try to avoid that person for a couple of days after this eclipse, because your relationship may get ended into some sort of abuse. So it is very important. And women shall also avoid traveling alone, as they may get teased or abused in and after this eclipse. So a few days down after the eclipse, or maybe few weeks, do not take any sort of risks while traveling alone or traveling at wee hours or somewhere where you find yourself in a lonely corner. So please avoid that, because things may get bad for you. So this is all that is about to happen in and after this eclipse that is taking place on 11th of January 2020 this year. So if you like my video and if you feel that my predictions, my forecasts are working for you, kindly leave a positive comment, kindly leave me a comment, write me a mail, and that will absolutely help me, give me enthusiasm to further make videos like this for your forecasts as that. And yes, you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I am also on Instagram by the name of Vedic Astrology Guru. So kindly subscribe to it. Thank you.